Hello everybody, Lunami here. So I want to go over the recent changes for the Gigantic Art client. Now everybody has got a feeling for them. So I'll break this down into smaller segments, starting off with the Clash transition. From all the feedback I've been seeing and been getting, the Clash transition seems to be holding up very well for getting new players into the Clash zone. And even some new players have been joking and laughing about having been killed off in Sanctum Falls by the thunderstorm and the flash floods. The only downside, it has removed some of the tactical pathways for assassins that they used to use. The bigger notice is on Siren Strands, as the avalanche will actually block the pathway behind ship. But overall, I feel the Clash transition is very solid and is very ideal for staying, and it doesn't affect the game flow too much, but just forces people into the Clash zone. Now moving on to the UI, time to put on some sunglasses as it might burn your eyes out. So that is a lovely gift to be welcomed by. Don't get me wrong, the UI is absolutely gorgeous, and I am happy that it's changed to a more solid look and it doesn't feel like a patchwork blanket anymore, so that is a good thing. The in-game UI has seen very mixed feelings, mostly as old Gigantic players are used to the old stylized middle, HP bar and stamina bars, whereas a new player will be welcomed with the new UI that is very generic to a lot of MOBAs and FPSs out there. So there is basically no interference with the muscle memory of the player with the UI. I will agree and say it is a good change. Yes, it strips away some of the old Gigantic stylized game away, but that style has been also incorporated into the new UI with the sharp angles, straight lines. I'd say give it a week or two and the Gigantic veteran players will be used to the new update as they rebuild their muscle memories, as this doesn't impact the game as much as other things that have been upgraded. Jumping right along to stamina changes, this is a funny one I will have to say, as it's got a lot of mixed feelings as the update has given every hero equal stamina and equal burn rate. So basically the DPS caster can dodge and sprint as much as any other assassin player or melee player out there. This can make for some very precarious situations where the DPS can more or less outsprint the assassin if done right, but this still takes a lot of stamina control from the DPS. In my eyes, this has made the game a lot more simpler for new players to pick up, but has also made it so that every hero is on the same level when it comes to stamina. So this makes it the skill level, and the skills will mostly factor if you can do a 1v1 situation. So I mostly like and dislike this change, but I feel no problems at all with assassin heroes, as you should always have enough stamina to get out of a fight. If you're out of stamina, it's more or less your own fault, you are not controlling your stamina correctly. Now moving on to 100% shield and auto wounds. I currently have no clue at all what is going on with auto wounds and 100 HP shield. It comes to a point, if you know you're going to take an auto wound, you might as well set up for something else than bother about getting 100 shield, as this will not protect you at all. I am kinda guessing this was mostly added to stop players farming other players and make the game a lot more faster, but is the most frustrating thing on the planet as you have no way to counter an auto wound no more. Okay, so let's get on with the most important topic within the Gigantic community, and that is the dreaded instant summoning. Funny enough, I am very okay with these changes. Yes, I feel like it needs some fine tuning to make sure there is some counterplay. But for entry level new players, I feel like it is a solid welcome, but I have a lot more interest in the high end gameplay, as currently they have zero reaction time to upgrades. And you cannot stop the summoning or upgrading if the enemy is channeling, as there is no interrupt possible, so the only way to stop this is by making them panic or by actually killing them off within the 6 seconds. There is some possible changes I feel that may work to give the game a bit more depth. I am fine with the babies the way they are, but you should be able to interrupt them with damage. My only problem with this, it will make more assassins more full meta as they can get in and deal damage fast and get out. The other possibility is to make the channel time longer by about 4 seconds so it gives time to kill instead. But when it comes to upgrading, maybe add in a small 10-second channel or maybe 14-second channel and add in a small timer of about 20 seconds just for finishing the upgrade. At the end of the day, there is loads of possibilities for this, but I feel adults need to be looked at when it comes to summoning and counterplay. But does this generally affect the originality of the game? The simple answer is no. Gigantic is very different in playstyle and in art style. With these changes, players will need to make new strategies and higher end targets. If anything, these changes for instant summoning will have to force players for more communications to counter what is going on the map, making this game more team driven. This is where the high teams will excel, as you will have to be able to read your enemy's movements and team movements a lot more than just relying basically on the map data for your info. And finally, moving on to power collating, aka power stealing. So this is taking power directly from the enemy creature's summoning location. I do agree there needs to be something in place to stop an enemy player from taking the power orb right under your feet in the middle of a team fight, as damage will not stop the orb from being picked up. The only other way is by using hard CC on a player. Yes, this gives strategy and makes heroes more meta over other heroes, so I kinda have mixed feelings about this. I hate it when it happens to me, but it gives such a rush when taking an orb right under an enemy's feet, as you have forced them to blow all the CCs. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to me on my insight on how I feel for the gigantic preview on the Arc client. If you feel like I have missed anything down below, please put a comment below and I'll try and get back of how I feel about that change and how it's been altered, because I might have missed some things. I'm just going over kind of the general things that I've noticed mostly and how it's affected me. Anyway, feel free to subscribe, comment and like this video, and see you all on the flip side.